How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Master Beer Reviews, back with another review. A little bit of aged beer time, a little bit of aged collab beer time in the form of Barrel Monks Brewing and M.I.A, Miami Brewing, M.I.A Brewing, whatever you want to call it. It is their Gods Must Be Crazy Belgian style ale. Just got bit by a mosquito, it's killing me. Anyway, the things I do for you. Anyway, yeah. Super excited to give this a whirl. This is an aged bottle. God damn it, I forget the date on this sucker. First things first, this was given to me by Ralph, King Should Have Hucked Mountain Ralph, as was this glass. Little proper glassware, semi-proper glassware, being that it's a collab. He ended up sending this to me. He's like, hey man, I found this beer on the shelf. I love me some Barrel Monks, and I figured you'd love to give it a whirl, and I would. I forget how old it is. It's at least a couple of years old. I know that. He sent me the date. I forgot to look it up before I started the video, so there you go. So it's definitely a couple of years old. I believe it's a one-off. It has to be a one-off. And besides Gods Must Be Crazy, it's a collab between M.I.A Brewing Company and Barrel Monks. Belgian-style ale, re-fermented in neutral oak barrels with a blend of Brettanomyces, Lactobacillus, and Pediococcus cultures for 8 months, and finished with Merlot grape must. Love me some grape must. Yeah. So it was brewed at M.I.A Brewing, so those are the guys leading the way on this one. And, yeah. Name-wise, it's tight. Reminds me of kind of Florida, you know? Just kind of rainbow, kind of summery feel to it, all that kinds of stuff. And it has that kind of M.I.A font. We don't get a ton of the M.I.A beers up by me, but enough to where I see them. Well, we used to get them in PA. I don't know if we actually get them here in Jersey now where I live, but yeah. So yeah, Playboy. It's all right. Doesn't blow me away. Bottle opener. I forgot one, but I have my keys. There you go. Whew. Apricot, man. Crazy, fruity apricot vibes. That's what I'm getting from this so far. Just from that distance, from that pop. Get this big kind of fruitiness. A little bit of tartness, nothing too crazy. Already giving you a nose from a distance. So let's stop there. And what do we have? This is a beautiful looking beer. It looks like iced tea. Well, is that beautiful? To me it is. It has this murky haziness to it. Nothing too crazy. You can definitely get a little bit of light through there. Very soft carbonation. What head was there is pretty much dissipated. Off-white khaki in color. And yeah, it kind of looks like a blended fruit juice. Like a red berry blended kind of fruit juice is going on there. So raspberry iced tea, if you will. Let's see if we can get a nose on her. It's definitely all about those kind of fruit, a little bit of fermented fruit fleshiness with a bit of fermented kind of fruit skinniness. You can add more kind of earthy, kind of tannic kind of skinniness, the bit of sweetness coming from that kind of fermented fruitiness. Like I said, it's kind of just screaming kind of apricot to me. Just apricot in like a lot of like the stone fruity skinniness, not necessarily like your hazy New England style IPA stone fruitiness. It's more of kind of like the skinniness, the fleshiness, the kind of that fermented fleshiness with that big kind of skin component where it comes off a little bit more tannic, a little bit less kind of just like sweet juiciness. It's not that funky. It's sour, but it's sour in a way that it's like just like a really kind of hefty Brett funky sour, as opposed to just a whole bunch of other bits and pieces kind of making it go kind of crazy sour. More wild beer than actual like super sour. Could definitely change in the taste, but I doubt it. It probably has a little bit of acidity to it. It's gonna be bright. It's gonna be fruity. Age has probably leveled it out a bit too. So let's dive in. Cheers. Okay. Yeah, pretty much exactly what I was getting on the nose. I'm getting in the mouth, but in a bit of a dialed back fashion. Soft acidity to it. Very, very, very soft. You're getting that kind of almost like herbally spicy mixed with kind of fruit skinniness. Again, peach skin, apricot skin, that kind of thing going on. It's a bit thin. And it has a little bit of oxidation going on. So a little bit aged, you know, you can have that from time to time. Let's see what else. It's nice, but I feel like being that it's, I don't even know if I said the ABV, it's 6.6%. I don't think it was like meant for long haul aging. You get that grape mustiness in there, more in the taste than you do in the nose. It has a nice kind of richness to it. It probably adds a big kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of beefed up component to it, like the MSG in food makes everything taste better. I think grape must works that way a lot of times for me with beers, whether it be lighter beer, saison, stouts, things like that. And I feel like it's going a long way to kind of making this beer richer and denser. I think if you pulled that grape must out of there, you'd lose a lot of it, and I think it would be even thinner as it is now. So you get that nice grape must. You get apricot kind of skinniness, a little bit of tartness, a soft acidity to it, a little bit thinner than I like it to be. And a soft kind of tannin, a little wood tannin there, make it a little dry, make you want to go back for a sip here and there. Yeah, it's tasty, it's nice, doesn't blow me away. It's cool, it's fun. It definitely has a Belgian vibe to it, so that's kind of cool. So it's that nice kind of soft, fruity, yeast-drivenness. You don't know whether you're getting it from the actual like grape must or the actual like kind of fruit components and the actual beer itself, or whether it be like a yeast thing. But they all marry together. They all kind of merge together into one. Age will do that for you. And just with when they're talking about, having the Brett and the PDO, and they didn't talk about sac in there or anything like that. There's a lactobacillus. I thought it'd be a little bit tartar, a little bit more sour than it is, but it's a bit softer. It's more, like I said, kind of somewhere between sour and funky, but on a very low scale. Well, it's tasty. It's fun. Getting vanilla now too. That might be barrel, but yeah, it's interesting, and probably one of the more adventurous collabs I've had from down Florida way. A lot of those guys are throwing those pastry stouts out there, super hazy beers. It's fun to see a little bit of kind of funky yeastiness kind of working its way into their bloodstream, even with this being a couple years old. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better sour, for lack of a better term, beers that I've had as of late? Probably not. It was one of the more interesting aged sour beers that I've had. Sure. You know what I mean? Again, there's no wow factor to it for me. It's nice, it's tasty, it gives me what it's saying, while at the same time not delivering to its full potential. But at the same time, with age and a little bit of oxidation, things can go in a bunch of different directions. So with it being the age that it is, and what it's trying to do, I think it's a tasty endeavor. Value and availability, I have no idea. It's aged beer. You take good luck with that one. Ralph can actually chime in as far as what he paid for it before he sent it to me, and leave you with, if you like what we like this, if you like aged beers, if you like sour beers, if you like to taste what age does to beers, and if you like breweries trying to do something fun and creative outside of a pastry stout or, again, the super hazy beer. It's fun. It does what it wants to do enough to where you're kind of puts a little smile on my face, but at the same time, maybe I'm just picky and I want a little bit more. But yeah, I like it. I dig it. There you go. Another review in the books. If you want to talk about it, down there. If you want to check me out doing social media stuff, Beer Massive. If you want to check me out doing podcasting stuff, actually, Massive Beers in the first one. The second one's Beer Massive. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little collab sour, aged in grape must, and also aged on the shelf for a couple of years. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.